There they go again, the Trump administration and the Department of Justice taking credit for a prosecution and an investigation that was started by the Biden administration. And today you got Pam Bondi up in a lather because they obtained a conviction. Whoa, she got a conviction finally. So hard for her Department of Justice to actually get a conviction. She got a conviction up in Fort Pierce, Florida against Ryan Routh. He's the guy that's mad as a hatter, batshit crazy, that tried to, I don't know if he tried to kill Donald Trump, but he certainly had a gun sticking out of the 6th hole while Donald Trump played on the 5th hole on a golf course in Palm Beach County after Butler, Pennsylvania. But how hard is it to get a conviction against the guy? This is what the Department of Justice has become. They have to celebrate getting a conviction against somebody who defended themselves and didn't have a lawyer. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Ryan Routh is crazy. He in court filings, he actually said that he proposed to have his criminal case resolved by a golf game to the death with Donald Trump, where there'd be a putting green practice area with female strippers, and that if Donald Trump beat him, he could execute him. Okay? Does this guy sound sane to you? In fact, he's so insane and acted out so many times that I already did a hot take that said that Judge Cannon, Donald Trump's favorite judge, had difficulty controlling him and basically cut off his opening statement. I thought this was a tryout for the insanity defense and that eventually he'd be smart enough to let his lawyers sitting on the sideline come in and make the defense for him since he didn't know how to do it. No, instead, of course they got the conviction. And what does Pam Bondi say? Her Department of Justice is in disarray. No federal judge believes them. Juries are not believing them. Grand juries are not believing them. But I guess if you go up against a you-know-what crazy Ryan Routh who's defending himself, you can beat him. Of course, she's got to tie it to the whole Charlie Kirk, Jimmy Kimmel thing. Is that over yet? For all of us, in which, political violence is not going to be tolerated. I want to thank the Department of Justice for protecting Trump. You know, and this just shows you, or Donald Trump wrote, what an incredible instinct and foresight this person had. A very big moment for justice in America. Let me just read to you what Pam Bondi said. Today, on her X statement, today's guilty verdict against would-be Trump assassin Ryan Routh illustrates the Department of Justice's commitment to punishing those who engage in political violence. That case was started by the Biden administration. And if you can't beat this crazy guy who wanted to do with strippers present a golf match to the death with Donald Trump in front of Donald Trump's favorite judge, I don't know. I mean, talk about having everything in your favor. That's beyond wind at your sails. This is what Bondi continued. This attempted assassination was not only an attack on our now president, but an affront to our very nation itself. Pam, get a grip. It was a crazy guy with a gun sticking out of a bush on a golf course. Let's not. I know you're all lathered up over Charlie Kirk, but let's put this in perspective. Thanking prosecutors and law enforcement for protecting Trump and securing this important victory. Trump thanked his Pam Bondi, former lawyer for Donald Trump, Deputy Todd Blanche, former lawyer for Donald Trump, and the Justice Department team for Routh's conviction, calling it meticulously handled. They were up against a crazy guy who didn't have a lawyer. He also thanked the judge, Eileen Cannon, favorite federal judge, and jury for their time, professionalism, and patience. This was an evil man with an evil intention, and they caught him. I'd like to thank the Secret Service. It's actually the Secret Service that caught him. The Secret Service agent was riding in a golf cart ahead of the president, saw an AR-15 barrel coming out of a bush, and getting all the information on car type and license plate. What an incredible instinct and foresight this person had. A very big moment for justice in America. But this again we saw Kash Patel over and over again when he was being cross-examined during his Senate and House oversight hearings last week, taking credit as does Pam Bondi frequently with press releases, for the hard work that was done by the Biden administration and their Department of Justice and their FBI. The only thing they've done is they've apparently killed off investigations and grand juries that they don't like because they were aimed at their political friends. Why do you think Tom Homan and the bribery scandal of the border czar, why do you think we didn't hear about that until now, until investigative reporting by MSNBC? There was a grand jury that the Biden administration had up and running in the Western District of Texas. There's a videotape of Tom Homan accepting a bag of cash. And yet you have the Trump administration killing that investigation while they're here praising Ryan Routh, crazy Ryan Routh, that should go to a mental hospital, not to a prison. You know, if Hinckley and the people that shot at Reagan and all, if they ended up going to mental hospitals, this guy certainly should. Golf match to the death, followed by a firing squad and strippers on the putting green. Seriously? If I was the lawyer, I would have introduced that filing as evidence of my client's insanity. We're going to have to see what happens next on appeal. The guy should be incarcerated or put away for a long time, but I'm not sure it's to the credit of the Bondi Department of Justice and the FBI. First of all, the FBI had nothing to do with it. It was the Secret Service that brought it down, already stinging from their failures in Butler, Pennsylvania. So they were on hyper alert, and they caught it. And how do you lose this case? I've already said the Department of Justice's reputation has been destroyed and the ability to obtain any kind of justice is gone. If you can't win in front of your favorite judge, Eileen Cannon, in Fort Pierce, Florida, where the person's representing himself and as mad as a hatter, you can't win that case when he admitted to sticking the gun out, and he admitted to being in the bush, he admitted to harboring political animus towards Donald Trump. His only hope was the thing he was too insane to know how to do, which was to put on an insanity defense. And yet they celebrate it and they tie it back to Charlie Kirk. And Eileen Cannon, just put this in a time capsule. There's a reason that the Trump administration isn't filing, or Donald Trump's not filing, many of his new cases, like against the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, anywhere near her courtroom. Because they don't want her to get the case, because they want to slide her in if Pam Bondi gets fired, which would be ironic how much she's extolling the virtue of everything that happened in that trial. She could be replaced by Eileen Cannon into that position in the Department of Justice, or they keep her to put her into an appellate court position as a stepping stone to the United States Supreme Court. I'm just going to put it out there. Yeah. As I've said before, I did reporting a year and a half ago. She was on the short list and that has never been denied by the Trump administration, Eileen Cannon, to be the Attorney General. I'll continue to follow it. You're here on Legal AF. Take a moment, hit the free subscribe button. Come on over to Legal AF Substack, do the exact same thing. We got a live recording going up soon of me and Michael Cohen and me. Become a full-fledged, full card-carrying member of Legal AF by going over to Substack and becoming a paid member. So until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.